I'm really, really sorry that he doesn't like hit Amber enough for people to like be concerned or care about the situation. But like that, these were always the images she put out, that she never said there was excessive bruising. This was always what her allegations were. And I don't know what is making people like not understand what, like, she always said it was this, and now suddenly she needs to have more excessive bruising. And there's so much evidence that this is a very believable thing for Johnny Depp to have like caused this to happen, like a tiny bruise like this. Like, she's never said it was that bad or painful. The only thing that she said was painful was the time when he headbutted her. And that's the thing that he confessed to doing, because there was like a witness to seeing blood come out of her nose. So he admitted to that, but he also said that he didn't headbutt her. He said that he headbutted her in the forehead, not the nose. So he couldn't have broke her nose. And that she just faked the nosebleed with red nail polish, as if anyone could believe that. Like, what is wrong with him? I don't understand what's wrong with this guy. An expert judge like looked at all these pictures, like with the minor bruises, like these bruises that people think is nothing. She presented this the entire time to the judge in the UK court, and gave the description, like all this stuff, like him throwing her around, him like hitting her, slapping her. Like, she said all that. She said all that to a judge who knows a little bit about this kind of thing, and the judge decided, yes, what she's describing does fit these kinds of bruises, because it does. Like, everything she's saying makes sense. And there's also this secret tape in Australia that backs up what she's saying. Like, people, maybe they think that she should have had like really excessive bruising, but if you notice on the tape, like, those people recognized that Amber was hurt. They said that she was breaking down every 5 minutes crying, and that she kept asking them to give her something so that she could calm down, and they kept rushing her off. And Johnny Depp has this missing fingertip. He's just screaming in the background, and she keeps apologizing to him. And it seems like there's something up. People noticed that she had these cuts on her arms. She had these cuts and scrapes on her arms, and they said maybe it's self-harm, or was it maybe that she was dragged across broken glass? Like, that could also be what it's from, because I've never heard any evidence of her having self-harm. Like, is that part of her history, that she's self-harmed before, and is that in her psych notes? So it seems like that she's backed up, and that they're not going to use that tape as evidence. But I think she's got pictures of the her wrists, like of her forearms, that backs up what she's saying. And in general, it's just so believable. And the fact that she kept crying every 5 minutes, and then his people were like brushing it off and saying, I can't deal with that right now. We just need to like sort Johnny Depp out because he lost his fingertip. And that's the more immediate thing. Like, it was 24 hours. That's what their focus was on, in order to save his finger. Like, that's all that's the urgent thing to focus on. It doesn't mean that Amber wasn't hurt. It doesn't mean that they couldn't tell she wasn't hurt. They just had to say, well, we can't deal with you right now. Like, it's all about Johnny. Johnny's the person that they work for. So they're like, you don't matter. That's what they said. That's what they kept saying. And then, like, she doesn't matter. It's all about Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp is the priority. That's what they kept saying on that tape. And it's like, that's okay, that's nice. Like, and it makes you, if this assault that she's describing happened, and that's what people kept saying, and she felt guilty for whatever reason, like because she upset him, because he thought that she was having these affairs and this and that, for whatever reason she felt guilty. She started apologizing to him, but it still makes you think, like, the assault that she's describing did happen, but she was like, I have to let it go, and focus on Johnny Depp, because Johnny Depp lost his fingertip, and that's the most important thing right now. But it doesn't prove to me that assault that she said didn't happen. Like, I'm more convinced than ever after watching that tape that what she's saying did happen. The way Amber presents her information is really not relevant. Like, you shouldn't analyze like her body language or the way she speaks, if she's crying at the right place, if she's not acting emotional in certain areas. That's none of your business. Just try to disprove what she's saying, because I don't think we can disprove the type of stuff that she's saying. And like, so many people you don't know how anyone is supposed to react to these kinds of situations. And to think like this, if you're not acting emotional enough, that means that what you're saying is not true, is a stupid thing to say. And the way everything that she just keeps spitting out facts after facts after facts. And if you listen to like something that you know is actually the truth, like him severing his finger and then like writing all this menacing notes with his blood paint, and she's just watching him acting so erratic, and she doesn't know what to do. And it's an obvious scary situation. Everyone knows that what happened in Australia was a bad time. It was not a good time for either of these people. They both describe dissociating from trauma, and I believe it, because it doesn't sound like a fun trip. It doesn't sound like a walk in the park. So when Amber's crying and breaking down describing some of this stuff, what do you think the alternative is? What else do you think happened in Australia if it's not what she's saying it is? Because whatever happened was a bad time, and we just have to listen to what these people who were there said. And Johnny Depp doesn't remember a lot of it because he was blacked out, dissociated, whatever, because he doesn't like to say that he blacks out. But Amber was there for a lot of it, and there were some bits that she just, during the attack that she's saying happened, like, she just doesn't remember the exact details because it was traumatic. Fair enough, like, there's some fragmented memory things, like, when you're in that situation, so she's not gonna get all the details 100% right when she's saying it right now. So it all makes sense. Like, everything she's saying is so credible, it's so believable. I don't know what he was thinking making her say this out loud and like having this accusation put out there, because it's hard to, it's not something anyone can disprove. Like the thing with the bottle, no one can disprove that happened, so you just have to like believe her, because otherwise you can't not believe what she's saying, because we have no way of disproving what she just said. And he doesn't remember, and being blackout drunk is not a defense. So what does he think he's doing? I guess the only question is like, what made Amber so different from everybody else? Like, how come she was the only one that experienced like this kind of behavior? And it could just be like the excessiveness of the drugs and the alcohol made him go in a bad way. Could be the fact that the way Amber speaks to him is different from everyone else. She's more willing to insult him and be direct with him. And she kept saying like, he's just surrounded by yes men. No one tells him what's right, what's wrong, and they just let him get away with everything. Someone else said that he has this clear and epic sense of entitlement. So maybe it's the fact that Amber talks back to him was the reason why she had these moments where he acted violently in response. So I mean, it makes sense, like. And he is the type of guy who had, if you look into it, he does have like a violent history with some people, like with men, sometimes, like getting in fights in bars, I think, and like trashing hotel rooms, like the smashing bottles things, and like we saw the videotape that she put out there where he's just like banging on things and smashing this stuff, and that's the one that she secretly recorded. And then usually there's tapes where he knows he's being recorded and he talks in a more calm way, and people think that that means something, but he might just be talking in a calm way because he knows that he's being recorded, and that's not always exactly what he's like maybe he is a bit more, you know, because in all his relationships people describe that he has this kind of violent thing, and that he has some rage issues, like he breaks things, he smashes things. So it's not that far a jump to think that he might escalate and put it on the skull. Like if she's in his way, if he's really drunk and she's in his way, it's not that hard to believe that he might, you know, hit her, like, and just not know that he's doing it. And for him to like deny that he's ever done it when he doesn't remember doesn't seem right to me. Like you can't say that you've never done this thing if you don't remember what you did. My main irritation with this guy is like the way he kept like getting his kids involved, and like saying everything he's been doing is for his kids, so his kids won't be questioned anymore. And now Amber's like throwing in even worse allegations that people are gonna like be asking his kids about. It's like he's ridiculous, and like there's this quote where he's like defending Roman Polanski, and he's like, Roman is not a predator. He's 75 or 76 years old. He has 2 beautiful kids. He has got a wife that he has been with for a long time. He is not out on the street. And that's the thing I keep seeing. Like people keep saying like Johnny Depp is not capable of doing like the things that she's saying that he does because he has kids. He's never been like this with his partners before. And it's like most serial killers like have a wife where nothing is wrong, and then on the side when they're away they go off and they murder people, they rape people, and that's just the way it is. And Johnny Depp splits from all his partners for a good chunk of time. He doesn't explain what he does when he's out, and they just have to go with it. Like Amber kept asking him, what do you do? What why are you splitting? What is the split? What happens when you split? And she's like accusing him of like cheating on her, and he's the one who's like really jealous and saying that she's cheating on him. But what does he get up to? Honestly, what does he get up to when he's away? Because we do know that he cheated on Vanessa with Amber, and maybe even more excessively than he let on, because he apparently said to Amber that he was separated from Vanessa when they were dating 2 years after they got together, and they were starting to date in secret. But he said, like, I'm not going to tell my kids just yet, but me and Vanessa are separated, trust me. And it's like, is he trusted? Like, can you trust that that's the truth? Because at the end of the relationship, he started calling Vanessa all these names and called her an extortionist. So, and she did take like millions from him, even though they weren't married. So it's like, what kind of information does Vanessa have on him to get that payout? So I don't think it makes sense. Like, maybe he does have a pattern and just people just don't know about it. Like, he could be capable of doing anything. I believe Johnny Depp is capable of doing anything. Just look at the things that he does, like the writing on the walls, with the touching everything with his severed finger, and like screaming and growling, and like all of that is believable. Like breaking the phone, and that's the kind of thing that it sounds like something that he would do. Like, I don't know what makes him think that no one's gonna believe that he's capable of doing anything. And like, Amber, all she wanted at the end of this was a restraining order from this guy. She just wanted to be separate from him. Maybe she wanted money as well, but so what? Like, that's not, it doesn't change the facts. Like, if Amber came, well, if he blacks out and the next day he sees Amber with bruises, and he's like, there's evidence of him texting her saying like, I put the monster away, da 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 da, and then he's gonna, and then all this stuff that make it seem like he knows that he hits this girl, and then he's gonna turn around. He goes on the stand and says, I have never struck a woman in my whole entire life. You can't say stuff like that if you don't know. Like, you're not allowed to say stuff like that. And I think there's also a lot of evidence that he knows exactly what he did. And I don't... What is wrong with this guy? He has never described Amber throwing a bottle at him in all those texts and conversations and tapes. Like, he never said that she threw a bottle at him. He kept saying that she threw cans at him. She threw one can at him, I think, one time. And then maybe pots and pans, but he has never said that she threw a bottle at him. And now that Amber's given this story of what the bottle means, and it just makes you, is he like that twisted, that sadistic to like transform the meaning of what the bottle was and say that instead of saying it, that it was used on her to cause damage, she used it on him to inflict this damage so people will feel bad for him, when actually, like, if you look at the evidence, like, he kept texting people that he cut his own finger off, and then the doctor's notes showed that the injury was more like something to do, like, is more suggestive of a crushing mechanism, because it was kind of like, it was cut in a weird way. So they don't know exactly what it was. Maybe the phone story makes a little bit more sense. Maybe the accordion door made some more sense. I don't know. But it's just like, why is he trying to say that Amber did it? Like, when it makes no sense for a bottle to sever a fingertip. Like, it's just common sense. Like, and the judge in the first trial was like, yeah, no, that doesn't make any sense. They heard him out. It makes no sense. And then they just dropped it, and he's trying to do it again. And it's, no, who can buy it? The jury can't buy that as an explanation, because it makes no sense. And there's no evidence of Amber throwing a bottle at him, because he never said that she threw a bottle at him. And it seems like the type of thing that he would mention if that were the case. So, is he really that sadistic that he's going to transform what the meaning of the bottle was, and the bottle was used to do what Amber said? Like, what is wrong with this guy? Like, oh my, what is wrong with him?